Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, I know this video is coming out late. Apologies for that. But, it was news interruption. And then 20 minutes later, they decided to show the rest of the episode. So, that was awesome. And, of course, they had it on YouTube, but I was like, you know what, listen, if I don't have to watch it that way, and it was kind of a really bad, rough copy, I was like, no, I pay for Hulu. I'll just watch it when it comes on Hulu. And here we are. So, here's the thing about Sonny. He is a ratings juggernaut. Love him or hate him, it is what it is. Um, Now, besides Jason being my favorite character, Sonny is also my favorite character. And the thing I like about Sonny, I like a lot of things about Sonny, but just like obviously, women love Sonny. But there's something that's just really cool about how he is, the way he handles stuff, the way he talks. And in my day job, there's this couple that comes in and we usually talk about soap operas, Days and General Hospital. And, because she got him into watching all these soap operas with her. And her husband was like, her husband was like, if Sonny doesn't come back on this show, then I'm not watching anymore. I'm not gonna lie, I really laughed because I was just like, it's so amazing how well Sonny's character is received, not just through women, but through men also. I remember when I was in high school, high school, um, and I used to sit there and watch General Hospital, whatever. And sometimes my friends would come by. And I remember one time I was sitting there watching the show and like halfway through, and Sonny came on. And my friend was like, I don't know, something about this guy I like. And I want to find out more about him. And the rest of the episode was playing or whatever. And he was like, you know what? I want to wait till Sonny comes back on. And I thought that was really cool because this is, us in high school watching soap operas. And, my friends are already like, oh, you watching soap operas and stuff. And to see the fact that even my friend picked up on how cool Sonny was is just amazing. Um, Now, going into this episode, we're going to start off, obviously, since Sonny's kind of topic right now. Uh, well, Michael. Michael gets news from, I don't know why. Michael gets news from the cops, or from the department, basically saying that they changed their search from search and rescue to search and recovery, which is really difficult to hear. Um, so he's sitting up there, and you know, Willow comes in, and she's dressed up and ready to go out in town. She asks Michael, "Do you want me to stay?" And she's like, "No, you need to go out and have a good time and all that good stuff." That's not what he said, but pretty much he didn't want her to stay. And so he winds up, after hearing the news, he goes to Carly's house. He runs into Sasha because Sasha is pretty much thanking Carly for giving her a good kick in the butt or whatever, as far as like getting help and rehab and stuff like that, and apologizing for the way that she acted. But Carly was like, it's cool, this is a process, and you're really brave and yada yada yada, all that good stuff that you're gonna get from Carly, because obviously she didn't take it personally. So while they're talking, Michael comes in and Michael tells Carly and Sasha, because I don't know if Sasha, I don't remember if Sasha knew about Sunny's disappearance or Sunny being gone or whatever. But Michael tells Carly that they're doing search and recovery now, and the news hits her pretty hard. So she goes in the kitchen to kind of just compress, and she also says, "Oh, I went to the kitchen to have you two crazy kids talk or whatever." But was like 80%. She kind of just needed a moment to herself. Um, my Sasha is there to sit there and like comfort Michael and just kind of just be a vent, just somebody to sit there and listen to, and they even when I'm going out on a I guess the boathouse or whatever for a walk, even though it's really cold, it's kind of just something to do. So I know I'm kind of going out of order, but it makes sense to me, and I hope it makes sense to you. Um, so while Michael and Sasha are going, Jason comes in, and Jason talks to Carly, and he has some information. He has the medal, I guess the necklace that Sonny wears, and he said it was caught up on some debris, and basically was like, I don't remember exactly word for word what he said, but it was something along the lines of he could recover, or he was able to he was going to be able to swim as long as like the debris didn't like wash him away, or something that he says. I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember. Basically, he was like, yeah, we need to just kind of start to accept that Sonny may be dead. And it hits Carly kind of hard, and she starts crying and everything like that. And I'm just like, I don't understand what is it with soap operas, and particularly this one, because I remember ways back, when well, when Morgan disappeared, and I'm still saying disappeared, and they were like, oh well, he's gone because we found remains like a shirt and sneakers. Did you find any body parts? No. Did you find a body? No. So we're just gonna assume that he's just gone because, well, we didn't really find anything, but okay, sure, whatever. So at this point, they just kind of just gave up hope at this point. And let's rewind it back a little bit. So, Peter is trying to talk to somebody in WSB, I guess that crazy scientist that I can't remember his name. But basically, you know, the person who's on the other end is like, yo, listen, you can't talk to inmates. Like, you can't really talk to him. He's locked up. You can't, you're just not going to be able to talk to him. So Peter's already frantic and everything like that, and he's about to head out. And then Sam is like, oh, where are you going in such a hurry? This dude don't like you, right? This dude don't like you, right? And so Peter is just like, you know what? Listen, we're not doing any of this foreplay, because at first, Sam is like, oh well, I just want to coordinate with you as far as like the bachelor and bachelorette party, and kind of make sure we're on the same page, and yada yada yada. And Peter's like, yeah, listen, here's the thing. You don't like me, I don't like you, and you don't want me to marry Maxine. So how about we just skip the fake pleasantries, and you know we could just kind of go our separate ways on hating each other and, enjoying life. Because he's like, I'm just done. And, he was also like, I know that most likely that Spinelli is just kind of just playing along just for Maxie's sake, and he really is not going to stop investigating me. And now they're here. So let's just kind of just cut the crap and get the hell out of my damn way. And, Sam was kind of taken back, like, I don't know what she was so taken back by, like, she either had that, like, how dare you talk to me, or, like, where did that come from? I'm like, there are people that don't like you and will not sit there and sugarcoat things for you. Um, I don't know, sometimes Sam kind of irks me a little bit. Sam kind of irks me a little bit because she seems like the type of person that is very a loudmouth with people, you know? A loudmouth with somebody. Even if she's in the wrong, she'll be a loudmouth about it. And then she'll be the first person to sit there and say, well, I'm going to get my man on you. And it's just like, usually women like that tend to do things like that either wind up getting their man hurt or in jail. So it kind of irks me about Sam a little bit. Anyway, after that happens, she sees Dante looking at Peter and everything that's going on. And she walks over and she starts talking to Dante. Here's the thing about this convo. And something I didn't realize, I think they're half brothers. Leo is Julian's son, so that would make Sam her half brother to Dante. I didn't know that. But anyway, that's not they're talking, and at some point they're talking about Peter, and Peter's like, they're talking about Peter, and Dante says something along the lines of, he's pretty much breaking the bro code. The fact that Nathan is his half brother that's dead, and you're marrying your brother's wife. Awesome. So they talk about that, and at some point they talk about stepping up for Leo, and at first Dante's like, listen, I need to be giving my condolences for Julian, and Sam is being a real itch about it. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, I still your dad. I still your dad, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of being a little bit of a hypocrite here, but like, really, like, you're still carrying a grudge against him even after he's buried in the ground. Now, truth be told, I am probably for everyone for keeping grudges on certain things, but Christ Almighty, she's literally like, oh well, Leo is better off not really knowing him and being attached to him, and I'm like, Christ. The guy hasn't been dead longer than, what, 3 days, and you're practically dancing in his grave? Like, really, Sam? At some point, they kind of talk away from that, and they talk about Sonny and Carly and stuff like that, and something that Sonny used to do. As far as, no, what the hell is going on in my throat? At some point, they're sitting there talking about how Sonny used to sit there and have these dinners with Sam and Carly and stuff, and Dante makes this really bad impression about Sonny, and they start laughing and stuff, and then Dante's like, oh, I'm talking like, I already just buried him. And then at some point, I'm like, bro, you are talking like you just buried him, and we haven't even found proof that he's, like, what? So at some point, towards the end of this conversation, they toast to Sonny. They're like, to Sonny. I'm like, I'm like, yo, so let me get this straight. Because Maurice Bernard wanted to go on vacation for a little bit and go on his ranch and just kind of just not be Sonny for a little bit. We're already planning his damn funeral and we didn't even get a body? Are you... Okay. Alright. I just remember me watching this episode and be like, oh, god damn, he didn't even... Not even a body. You already snuck there toasting the Sonny. Okay. I can't get over that. But, what else? Well, that was something. Now, let's talk about Portia and the temporary Taggart that somehow became the Taggart longer than I expected him to be. Because reasons. I'm not saying this guy isn't doing a good job. Okay, I'm not saying this guy isn't doing a good job. He's playing his version of Taggart, and it's servable. It's okay. Clearly, I can't sit there and say that word. But it's doable. Okay, it's doable. He's doing a good job as doing his version of Taggart, and I'm not really complaining. Sad thing is that I feel like if he was to replace Taggart, I feel like his replacement would be better than who's replacing Jordan, but I digress. So he's talking to Portia, and pretty much Portia's like, yo, listen, you gotta fight these charges. You can't give up. For our daughter's sake, you need to sit there and fight these charges. And I'm like, okay, sure. Because I kind of thought when you came in there with that energy, and Taggart was like, I thought it was Trina, and, Portia was like, well, she's mad at you because you lied to her, and yada, yada, yada. I was like, oh, okay, so it's going to be one of those talks. Okay, cool. All right, just checking. But then, she gives him a rah, rah, rah speech, the pretty much hopes and dreams speech, and he, well, her version anyway, and he, You know, he seems like he's ready to fight these charges. So we'll see how well that goes. Of course, when Jordan came downstairs, Jordan was like Portia, and Portia was like, "I'm Dr. Robinson." I'm not gonna lie, I partly want to sit there and say, "Okay, sweetheart, calm down. Like, don't try to make." I just something about when doctors do that just really pisses me off. It just comes across as so arrogant. But I get it in her case. She's just really well pissed off at Jordan. And to some extent I can't blame her, so that's why I was like, you get a you get a 50% pass on that one, okay? You get a 50% pass on that one. Let's not overextend that, okay? So she walks off and Jordan talks to Taggart and also informs him that Sonny's missing, and Taggart's like, what the hell, you know? Because he basically is like, Sonny's a complicated man. I've been trying to put this guy away for, well, a long time, and he bends over backwards to sit there and save me. Because Sonny is just awesome like that. And how even Jordan's like, yep, he is definitely a complicated man. Um, what else? Oh, earlier, Jordan brings in Jason for questioning, which of course brings in Diane, and you know, at first Jordan's like, oh, you're here too. Yeah, because you didn't expect him to actually come alone in a police station without a lawyer? Are you nuts? Do you know how much money he pays her? Anyway, she basically is like, listen, do you have Cyrus's mother? And for the most part, Diane does talking. At some point, which is kind of odd, Diane leaves and talks to Jason and basically asks him the same question, and he doesn't give an answer. And Jordan's like, damn it, I really wish you would have just said no. Because then it's going to make me investigate. And it's going to make the feds investigate. And then that's not going to be good for anyone. And earlier, when Diane was there, you know, she was like, it's against your, this is outside your jurisdiction. And Jordan was like, yeah, but here's the thing though, it's not outside the FBI's jurisdiction. It's not outside their range. So how about we not make this a bigger problem than it needs to be for any of us? But yeah, she has some more talk. She has some more time to talk to Jordan alone. I don't remember. I think Taggart asked a question, a very important question about Jordan Cyrus not having any more leverage over Jordan. And Taggart was like, and he can't just re-kidnap your son because why? But I think because the fact that they have his mother, he's not going to probably do anything to step out of line, which I'm not going to lie, it's kind of dumb. But let's be honest, all he really has to do is kidnap Jocelyn and say, hey, how about we make a trade? But whatever. She talks to Jason some more, and she gives him, like the necklace and stuff like that to sense out the briefcase. Or to sense out the yellow folder. Yeah. So, let's talk about Chase. Talk to Dante real quick. Just about catching up and kind of hanging out because they haven't really spoke to each other in a while. Nothing really major, except for Dante thanked Chase for looking out for his family. At that point, Chase goes to get his table ready. 1 second. Had to blow my nose, and trust me, no one wants to see that. Chase goes to get his table ready. Willow comes. Yeah. So here's the thing about this whole scene. They start off with small talk. They talk about Thor, the dog, because, couldn't name the dog anything else except for a Marvel character because, Disney. Listen, I love Marvel and everything, but, anyway, so they talk about the dog, And then they talk about some other stuff, just kind of reminiscing, small talk, just to get her laughing and comfortable. And then Willow's like, wait, we can't do this. We can't sit there and pretend like nothing happened. You lied to me and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, the whole point of y'all actually going out on this date is to kind of reconnect, not sit there and bring up, like, the past of everything that just happened between y'all. Y'all talked about that in length. The whole point of this date was to kind of just. And I get where Willow's coming from to some extent. She doesn't want to sit there and pretend like that didn't happen. But no one was really pretending like it didn't happen. He just wants to sit there and talk to you and kind of reconnect and find the reasons of why you fell in love with this guy in the first place. And then she just goes off on a tangent about that. And then, they're about to kiss. But then she's like, oh, well, I'm married and we can't do this. And, like, she even says, like, I wanted you to kiss me, but we're married, and this is just all too complicated. And so she just kind of just scurries off, and I'm like, yeah, so they talk. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of paused it too long, and Anyway, and I'm not gonna redo this again. I'm just not because it's too late. Anyway, they're having this conversation, and I don't know if I said this before, but if I did, I'm sorry. So they're reminiscing about stuff, and then at some point, she just changed the topic and starts bringing up old past stuff, and about how you lied to me, this, that, and the third, and I'm like, uh, what was the point of this date again? Because I thought it was to reconnect. By the way, at some point, she kind of lied. So at one point, she was like, I thought I wanted this until. And Chase was like, until what? And what she really wanted to say was, until I fell in love with Michael. But that's not what she said. And at this point, I'm just like, Willow, what the hell do you want? Because this back and forth, I want to be with Michael, but I still love Chase, but I'm having feelings for Michael. Like, at one point, she's like, oh, well, at one point, they're about to kiss, but she's like, I wanted you to kiss me, but I'm married, and this is just too complicated. I'm like, sweetheart, you are just wow. Um, so yeah, that was just an epic fail, and I'm sitting there thinking, Chase, Sasha doesn't look bad. She actually looks pretty good. Why don't you try Sasha? Why don't you try going out with Sasha? Because this whole Willow thing, I'm gonna be honest, it's going to get worse before it gets better. You're gonna ask yourself, is this worth it? Which I don't think it is, but whatever. Um, and I guess the last thing I'm gonna sit there and talk about is Cyrus and Laura. So Cyrus is not happy that Laura is not getting results, and he's like, "You need to sit there and do something about my mother." And Laura brings up the whole Lulu thing, and then one thing leads to another, and Cyrus grabs um Laura's arm, and then Leslie Lou comes out the blue and is like, "Pretty much get your damn hands off my daughter." So they talk, and Cyrus tells her, "Hey, listen, by the way, we're me and Laura related." And also, well, there's really no easy way to sit there and say this. Pretty much slut shames her. It calls her a tramp for seducing his dad, and the reason why his life sucks is because of all the stuff that she did, and how he had to move away from Port Charles because of reasons. And Leslie's like, your dad should have knew exactly what he was getting into. He was a professor. He knew the power dynamic, and he still chose to go along with it, which is actually true. But anyway, they get into this back and forth argument, and honestly, tell you the truth, at this point, Leslie Lou goes in the office, and you know, Laura's like, "Listen, whoever has your mother, she's gonna be fine, and you need to sit there and trust that." Um, and Cyrus is like, "Listen, you better handle this. You better find a way to handle this, because if this gets out of control, no one's gonna be happy, pretty much. So at that point, Laura goes to check on Leslie, and then she's upset because of her part that she played, and this whole thing, like just drudging up the past, was just really emotional for her. And so she's crying and she's upset, and Laura hugs her, and that pretty much ends that. Let's see, did I miss anything? No, I don't think I missed anything. Again, apologies for the jump cut. I kind of just want to pause it so that way I can blow my nose, and then I started talking like it was still recording, and it wasn't. So, apologies for that. But I hope everyone enjoyed this review that watched. I want to thank everyone for watching this review. Also, I want to thank people in the comment section. Somebody pointed out something that was really um, interesting. One second. I know this review is a little bit longer than, well, than I plan, and then probably people plan on watching, but I wanted. I was really going in on these comments. Hold on. Allison made a very smart observation that I didn't even catch on until after I read it. So, nice, thank you, for pointing that out. I have to sit there and say that I am very grateful for having the type of subscribers that I do have that comment on my videos, because I like to sit there and try to think that I do get better at doing these, and I wouldn't be where I am without the subscribers that help me along as far as commenting on stuff, pointing out certain things that I miss. So I'm a very lucky person. I want to thank everyone who watches my videos and comments on them, and just people who even don't comment on it but still watch. I want to thank you. This is fun. So I really enjoy doing this, and I really enjoy that people. I really like knowing that people like my videos and watching my videos and everything like that. I know it sounds like an acceptance speech, but I just want to say thank you, and I am grateful. I hope everyone has a great weekend. I know this came out to be longer than I thought it to be, but thank you. Have a good weekend. See you in the next review.